It's Laura Eubanks of Design for Serenity with your succulent tip of the day. And Greg and I are back at our La Jolla project. Remember this one that we did last month before we went up to the ranch? My concern with this was runoff. We put down a substantial amount of decomposed granite, and this is a very slopey project. We had lots and lots of rainfall. We did have a little issue, but not nearly as dramatic as I anticipated. So we thought we would take you along on a little walkthrough to show you how the project is holding up within the first month after all the rain and the colder temps in San Diego, and then show you what our solution is for the little runoff problem that we have encountered. So the plants, of course, look spectacular. This is crassula season in San Diego County, and you can see all of the jades are in full bloom right now, and the bees are absolutely loving it. All of the gravel, we have the Cali Gold 3/8, all in this area here on the right side of the drive. I see no runoff, and everything is looking really good over here. So if we move over here to the other side, again, everything looks great. I don't see any resurgence of the diamondia. I don't see any weeds. I don't see any runoff. We purchased the stabilized decomposed granite, and the idea is that once this gets wet, it forms a crust. Very crusty. Yeah, really happy with this. Everything, the tapestries look great. All of our 3/8 is behaving. Nothing is running into the decomposed granite. And lo and behold, I am thrilled to report that we don't have any of the riveting that I anticipated in this major downslope amongst all these agave blue flames. I do see a little bit of ice plant making a comeback here, just a tiny little bit. But this looks fantastic. Really, really great. I'm very pleased. And I don't see it raining harder than it did last week. So I think we're going to be good to go with that. If you want to come on up here, Greg, just be careful. Don't bang your head on the podocarpus. The pots look great. Let's take a look over here at the ferox. The ferox were coming into their glory when we moved them from the backyard, and they are still glorious. A lot of the flowers have fallen off. This is just a maintenance issue to keep these cleaned up. But don't they look great? They look nary harshed whatsoever by being transplanted, and despite the storms and the wind, they held up and they didn't fall over. Kevin, his dry stack has held up beautifully. I don't see any settling or runoff whatsoever. So this retention, this organic dry stack retention is held up super good. Oh my goodness. We transplanted a cordyline in one of the pots, and it is alive and looking great. I can't even tell at this point which one it was. I think it was that third pot down that we transplanted. Looks fantastic. Super happy with that. And the tropical oasis and fountain area, fabulous. Wow. Wow, wow, wow. Just looks super. Nothing has rotted. Everything looks fantastic. This giant mangave we transplanted, we divided it. There's one and then another piece of it over there and then a smaller piece over there. So it's showing just a little bit of shock. Succulents their leaves tend to curl inward. I think it's just a defense mechanism to kind of protect the new growth and to protect the trunk or the heart of the plant. But I'm confident, based on the condition of this new growth that's forming, that this is going to be just fine. Look at that Aeonium sunburst, Greg. See, this gets dappled sunlight in the winter, which is sufficient for these plants. They don't need full-on sun. They're fine with just the dappling. Actually, I think here in San Diego, they prefer it to full sun. Okay. All right, then these agave regiones also looking good, looking fine. The Dazzlerian longissimum, this guy got transplanted. We schlepped this poor plant from over, 3 or 4 places before we found the home. And you can see here, it is stressed and struggling a little bit, but I think it's very much alive. And at this point, I am not at all worried about it. We'll just let her ride. And now we'll show you why we're here. Okay, so here's, water runneth downhill, right? So you can see where we lost just this extreme runoff all the way through here. Lost some decomposed granite, must have went right on down the hill. So we could replace this with more DG, but my expectation is that the same thing would happen next time we had rain. So what we're going to do is we're going to try some 3/4 inch Cali Gold. This is 1/4 of a cubic yard. And because it's more substantial than the DG, we're hoping that it's going to hold up better. We aren't going to have the runoff. The water will run underneath this rock. And, as a designer, I'm also thinking aesthetics. So when we get done filling this in, I will show you how it looks. I think it's going to be an absolute win. So we took that 1/4 of a yard and we made the most of it. Started at the top of the incline here behind the Aeonium sunburst. And we moved down slope, following the eye, following where the water would roll. Decoratively wove our 3/4 inch Cali Gold through the barrel colony and then flushed it down the street. So there's not a lot of contrast, of course, in this ribbon. And you know me, go big or go home, I usually do a burgundy or something that's got a lot of pop and a lot of zing for contrast. But that wasn't the point here. We needed to keep it very monochromatic because of this beautiful storm cloud podocarpus. It drops its leaves all year round, and against this Cali Gold, you can't really see the detritus too much. But if I put a bunch of burgundy down, it would be a hot mess within weeks. So this serves 2 purposes. Main purpose, I have a blower and a helicopter right now, so I apologize for the noise. But the main purpose, of course, was to conceal the damage from the runoff of the rain with a heavier rock in the hopes that this rock will hold steady and in place. And frankly, I thought that DG held up like a champ, all things said and done. But then we didn't want it to look abrupt. So we got enough so that we could take it up and weave it through and make something really pretty with it. So that is your succulent tip of the day. There are solutions for every problem. Have fun, figure it out, work with nature, not against it, and have a wonderful day in the garden. This has been Laura Eubanks reporting from La Jolla with your succulent tip of the day. Bye, guys.